What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am doing something different. It's something that I don't think I have ever done, and that is a limited pack build. So for this build basically I'm only using base game obviously combined with cats and dogs. You can already tell by the title of this video and by the world because I'm building in Brindleton Bay. And yeah, I've been wanting to do a limited pack build for a long time now, but I just never got around to it for some reason. And that's mainly because I just enjoy using all the content that I have in my game way too much. Like, I just love making all sorts of crazy combinations and just using all of the furniture items that we have and all the different styles and stuff. I just love having all the options. But yeah. Limited pack builds have been requested, and it's also a nice little challenge for me to try and achieve that. And yeah, so for this one I chose to build with cats and dogs only, and I was definitely having a lot of fun. Now the added challenge for this is that I am building a starter home. So this house comes in at just under 20,000 simoleons, and I furnished it for 3 Sims. I created 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms in this house, so that is actually quite luxurious. Like, the parents have a bedroom upstairs and they have an ensuite upstairs as well, so that is actually pretty nice. And then downstairs there is a bathroom that I furnished for a child, and there is also a hall bathroom downstairs, but it's also a full bathroom. So this house does have 2 full bathrooms, and that was just, yeah, that costs a lot of money. So the inside of this house is actually, I don't even really want to talk about it. It's just really sad. Like, the kitchen and living area are okay, but after that my money was pretty much gone. Like, I did not have any money left. So the upstairs area, for example, the parents' bedroom only has a double bed, a dresser, and a chair, and that's it. So it's really, really sad. But yeah, I did succeed in that sense. I mean, it is a starter home, so the furnishing of this house is really sad, but I think that the outside, it looks really cute. And yeah, for a starter home, I think it's always nice to not have it too detailed because it is meant for you to use in your gameplay, and I am just imagining that you would probably decorate it to your own sense of style anyway. So if you're not playing with any money cheats, you can just go ahead and buy this house at first, and then once you make a little bit of money, you're probably just going to spend that money on decorating the house the way you want to decorate it and kind of make it your own style. So yeah, the furnishing in this house is really basic, really boring, but that works for a starter home like this, I think. Or I'm just making up excuses for the fact that I was just really bad at managing the money that I have for this house. But yeah, it's okay. It turned out all right. I think the outside looks cute. I did end up using a lot of landscaping. I did a lot of landscaping, all for free, of course, because I used the debug catalog, which is a lifesaver when it comes to building starter homes. I mean, I don't really build starter homes that often, but when I do, the debug catalog is my friend, because I do want the house to look lived in and realistic when it comes to landscaping and surroundings. So I do want to make the build fit in with the surroundings and everything. So I just want to do a lot of landscaping basically, also because I love doing it. So yeah, I did go ahead and use a lot of debug items for this build. That took a lot of time. I usually don't really have the patience to sit down and look through all of the debug catalog because it's a mess in there, but it's still really usable. So for this build I didn't really have a choice. So yeah, that was quite the process, if that makes sense. But I am really happy that I did take the time and scroll through all of debug and make the house look as cute and lived in and as realistic as possible, basically. So those planter boxes, for example, that I'm placing underneath the windows are all from debug. They're completely free and really cute still, in my opinion. The sad thing about this house is that I really wanted to use cats and dogs windows and doors. I mean, I did use the cats and dogs front door, and I also used that door as a door to the backyard. But it turns out that the windows that come with cats and dogs are actually really expensive. I didn't know that, but apparently they are very expensive. I thought that would be really cheap, but I think I have them mixed up with the doors and windows from Seasons. I think those are really cheap, and the ones that come with cats and dogs are really expensive actually. So I used all base game windows for this build, but it's fine. I mean, it works out fine. It still looks really cute. I love the windows with those shutters that I use on one side of the build. So yeah, I was definitely still really enjoying those base game windows, and I never really ever used those windows, only for for limited pack builds or base game only builds, or just if it suits the house. I mean, obviously I'm going to use them, but I usually go for different windows, and I tend to use the windows from cats and dogs a lot actually. But because I never built with a money limitation, if that makes sense, like on a budget, I didn't really know that they were so expensive. Like I didn't know, but apparently they are. But it's perfectly fine. It all worked out fine in the end. But you can really see the house come together. I did use the fence that comes with cats and dogs. I think it's a really cute fence, and I just had to use it. And then to fence off the backyard, I just used a debug fence. I'm not sure if that comes with the base game debug items or the cats and dogs debug items, but it's gonna be one of those two, because I only had cats and dogs and base game installed. If you didn't know, James Sterner has a very neat little trick basically, or just a website where you can just disable your packs, and it creates kind of a code, and you can paste it into you can copy and paste it into your Origin, into the Sims. It's really easy. I'll make sure to link that website that he has, that little handy tool that he has created. I'll make sure to link it down below if you don't know about it, so you can just go ahead and check it out, and it has a really good explanation of how to use it as well. It's really easy, but yeah, I'll just make sure to link it down below so you can do some limited pack builds yourself if you want to do it, or if you want to just turn off your packs and play with base game or anything. He basically just made a really handy little tool for that, and like I mentioned, I'll make sure to link it in the description box down below. But here you can see I am going crazy with debug plants and make this house look as landscaped and lush and overgrown as possible. That is my favorite part about this house, and I'm also really enjoying that little mailbox, the doggy mailbox that I have in front of the house. I just think it's so adorable, and I almost never use those mailboxes because I don't know, they just, obviously they're not going to fit every build that you do, but for this one it was perfect because I also added a couple of pet bowls to this house and a pet bed upstairs on the landing area. It's really sad because literally the only furniture item that I have placed on the landing area is a dog bed because, well, like I mentioned, I ran out of money by that time. So it's really sad, but the dog bed or the pet bed, I did use one of the larger ones, and I didn't really have space downstairs to place down one of those big dog beds at all. So yeah, I just placed it on the landing area, and it works out perfectly fine. It's just a little bit sad because it's literally the only piece of furniture that I have placed up there. But you'll see that a little bit later on. I furnished the kitchen at first. I used those base game appliances and base game counters, obviously because they're the cheapest. And I used that base game brick wall. I think that brick wall is definitely one of my favorites that we have in the game. And it's actually been a while since I used it on the inside of a build, so I was happy to actually use it for this one. But yeah, the kitchen doesn't really have any clutter at all because even though I did use a lot of money, or I mean a lot of debug items for the outside of this house, so those are completely free. I also spent a lot of money on like little details on the house itself. Like for example, I did use wall trims, and that costs money. It's pretty expensive. And I did to be able to make those wall trims work, I did have to place down rooms underneath of the roofs basically. And that also costs money. So those little things, they're not expensive at all, but I did a lot of those little things. So that costs a lot of money. So I knew that I was spending maybe a little bit too much money on the outside of this build when I was building. Like I was well aware of the fact that I was spending a little bit too much money, maybe, but then I was like, you know what, I am going to do it anyway, because the inside of this house for a starter home, it really doesn't have to look too perfect. And if you're going to use this for your own gameplay, you are going to save up for a nice interior anyway. So I wanted to focus on the outside of the house a little bit more and on the size of the house as well, because like I mentioned, it has 2 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms. So even though this is a starter home, you can still like live here for a long time and start your little family or whatever, because I mean, it has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So there's going to be a lot of plenty of space for your Sims to sleep and to move around. I mean, this bedroom that I furnished for a kid, it is still really small, but for a kid, it works out perfectly fine. For a teen, it would also work out perfectly fine. And then you can have a little study area if you wanted to on the landing space, which is what I was planning on doing anyway, but I didn't really have any money left to actually place down a desk and a computer or anything, so I didn't do that. But that space is pretty empty because I was planning on decorating it as a study. So you can do that if you want to, and you'll have plenty of space in this house. It's really not too small. So you can use this house for your gameplay for a longer amount of time, and that is definitely what I was going for, because I could have easily made a starter home with only 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, but then once your Sims start a family, they are going to have to move, and that was something that I didn't want for this house. But yeah, that was basically already it for the inside of the house. I know it's really sad, but yeah, I tried to make it work as well as possible with the amount of money that I had, but basically, for the backyard that I am decorating right now, you can see that I have no money left at all. So what I did was I placed down some debug items, of course, again, because those items saved my life. But yeah, so the little bench and the little table and chairs that I placed down, your Sims can't actually use those. They can't sit on those because they're debug items, but I still wanted to fill up the space with something, because you can see that the backyard is actually pretty spacious. But if you have a dog, which I was imagining this family would have, it has lots of space for the dog to just run around and yeah, just have fun, and you can play with your dog outside here in the very spacious backyard, and it works out perfectly fine. But basically, I left the space empty for you to furnish the way you want to furnish it or decorate the way you want to decorate it, because I didn't have any money left to do it for you, basically. But I hope that is okay. I'm just placing down a little bit more trees and plants and shrubs everywhere, and that is basically already it for this video. So if you want to, you can download this starter home off the gallery. It's under 20,000 simoleons, so you can use it for any family in your game, as long as you have cats and dogs installed, obviously. But my username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!